Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron. Welcome back to my holiday 2019 box office predictions. And today we're going to be talking about Midway. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of Midway. So let's get right to it. Pros. This movie has a pretty decent cast. Gotta look it up right here. There it is. You got people such as Woody Harrelson, Dennis Quaid, Mandy Moore, Nick Jonas, Aaron Eckhart, Luke Evans, Patrick Wilson, Ed Skrin. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, pretty decent cast. Granted, a lot of these actors they don't do that great when they're on their own, or they've been popular in other things. You know, Ed Skrein in Deadpool, Patrick Wilson in Aquaman, Luke Evans in Beauty and the Beast, Nick Jonas in the Jumanji movies. And out of all the people here, you know, the one with the most clout is easily Woody Harrelson. Because, you know, he has Zombieland, he was in War for the Planet of the Apes, and he will be in Venom too. But, you know, in this type of movie with an ensemble cast, when you just kind of group a bunch of not quite A-list, but A minus, B plus list of stars, you know, it tends to produce pretty decent results. So that's the first pro. Second pro, this movie was made by Roland Emmerich. If you don't know who that is, this is a man who is well known for disaster movies, particularly three movies: Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, and 2012. Those three movies were all humongous blockbusters. Independence Day in particular put him on the map. And although some of his other big movies have tanked, and we're definitely going to talk about them when we get to the cons, but, you know, those three movies, they were such hits that, you know, can't deny, like, he can make a blockbuster, you know, I guess when he has the right movie. Or the right type of movie. Another pro is that this movie is a World War II flick. And although World War II was a terrible time in human history, it's apparently a great setting for a lot of movies, because there are plenty of World War II movies that have done well in the past. Movies such as Saving Private Ryan, Dunkirk, Fury, Unbroken, and Glorious Bastards. And the one that's probably going to be, you know, used a lot as a comparison to Midway, Pearl Harbor. And we're going to talk about that again when we get to cons. So yeah, World War II movies have a really good track record for the most part, and Midway is a World War II movie. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it. Cons. As I already said, this movie, people are going to compare this a lot to Pearl Harbor, Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, for many reasons. One, because Roland Emmerich and Michael Bay are two filmmakers who care less about story and characters and more about explosions and special effects, right? And, you know, with Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, you know, after Michael Bay did Bad Boys, The Rock, Armageddon, for some reason he was like, you know what I should do? I should make a war drama. A drama, romance, big budget action movie. I'm going to do that. That's the next movie I should make. So in 2001, Michael Bay made Pearl Harbor. And although it was trashed by critics, for, you know, one, just not being very good, and two, for trying to rip off Titanic so much. But because of, you know, that successful blend of romance and action, the movie was a huge blockbuster, opened to 59 million, which was a lot in 2001. Made 198 million total domestic, about 450 million worldwide. So that movie was a hit. Midway, yeah, it will never, ever, ever, ever reach those types of numbers for a couple reasons. And the first reason is that this movie it doesn't look very good. It just doesn't. I saw like a trailer or two, and the CGI, it looks bad. Like, and this is a movie that cost $100 million apparently. It sure doesn't look like it. It looks like, you know, like a movie from, I don't know, the early 2000s. So Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, basically. But even Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor had better special effects than this. At least with Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, he used like, it looked like there was some realism to it, despite all the explosions and everything. But Midway, like the effects look like from a PS3 game. It's terrible looking. So yeah, and another con against this movie is, I don't know, just the release date. Well, there's actually a pro and a con to its release date. The con to its release date is that it's so freaking crowded. You got so many movies coming out now and later that just gonna just basically they're all kind of gonna eat each other alive, and only a few movies are going to survive. You know, the onslaught. Movies like Frozen 2, Jumanji 2. Well, technically Jumanji 3, and Rise of Skywalker. Those are the only movies that I think are really going to stand tall in comparison to just the sea of movies that's going to come out. I don't think Midway's going to particularly survive, but I did say there is a pro to its release date. And the pro is that this movie's being released right near Veterans Day, which is on Monday. And that's important because you know who this movie is targeting as his audience? Old people, right? Right? It's perfect. It's ideal to release a movie around this time. So, because Veterans Day is about us respecting the soldiers, who fought in wars, respecting them, the ones who fought in wars like from long time ago that pretty much I wasn't even born for those wars. We have to, pay respects, right? Similar to Memorial Day that we have in May. And Pearl Harbor was released on Memorial Day, so that was perfect timing there too. So yeah, good. Has a good release date. It has both a good and bad release date. And Roland Emmerich, how can I forget? Despite Independence Day and The Day After Tomorrow and 2012, I gotta get to him. Scroll through all these names. Yeah, this is the same dude who thought right here. All right, this is the same dude who thought Godzilla 98 was okay. I mean, he did do The Patriot. I heard The Patriot was pretty good. But he thought Godzilla 1998 was okay. He thought 10,000 BC was okay. He thought White House Down was okay. And he thought Independence Day Resurgence was okay. And with the exception of 10,000 BC and even to some extent Godzilla 98, with the exception of those two, like White House Down bombed. It bombed horribly despite having a pretty stacked cast including Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum. That movie just got destroyed. And the same goes for Independence Day Resurgence. Despite having 20 years between movies, no one really showed up to see this one. And the movie made less than half of the first, which was in 1996. And Resurgence came out in 2016. So when it comes to inflation, it's horrible. So yeah, those movies are a real stain on his record. So that's really not good. But as I said in my Dr. Sleep video, for some strange reason, I think it's because of that release date, that tie-in to Veterans Day, this movie is winning at the box office. I don't know how. Well, I know how, but It's so weird because like if you asked me like a week ago, oh, how will Midway do? I would have been like, oh, this movie's gonna bomb. It's gonna bomb hard. It's gonna make like 10 million opening weekend. No one cares about this movie. But I clearly underestimated the the appeal of it. So now, opening weekend, I'm gonna say 20 million right now. Yeah, I think 20 million is about right. 20 million, maybe a little under that, but I'm going to stick with 20. And its final total is going to be 60-ish million, perhaps, which is way better than what it could have been. This could have been a disaster. But considering that 100 million budget, it still has a long way to go before it sees any type of profit. Maybe it'll have a good international run. Who knows? But yeah, that's it for Midway. And I didn't even mention this, but I know Midway was like a battle, but for some reason, when I think of Midway, I think of, Midway Games, the people who made Mortal Kombat. I don't know why, it popped in my brain. It's weird. But yeah, that's Midway. And the next prediction I gotta do is Playing with Fire. Yeah, no, November's getting off to such a stellar start. Your Frozen 2 cannot come soon enough. So, yeah. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. If you want to go check out some of my other videos, my other predictions, I have playlists. I have playlists for fall 2019, summer 2019, blockbusters and non-blockbusters. Have my current playlist of holiday 2019. Still gotta do October recaps. Still gotta film that. But yeah, that's it. That's all. And I am out.